Okay, so you also have the PowerPoint handouts that I gave. Again, I cannot iterate anymore how so apologetic I am that the PowerPoint slide was not working, but I did give you the handouts. So everybody has their handouts, right?
Yes. Yep.
Good, good, good. Okay, so now this is what I want you to do because we'll be wrapping up soon. I want you to just take a minute, right? Think about what stood out for you the most in this class. What was something that you did not know that you now know, or something that you maybe affected you? Does anybody want to tell me what kind of stood out to them the most? Anyone? Don't anybody raise their hand all at once?
That 1 in 5 girls on 1 in 20 boys are victims of sexual abuse. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 out of 4 adolescents have been sexually assaulted by someone that they knew. I did not know that.
Yeah, and that's something because most people don't know that. People think, sexual abuse is kind of a secret around the household. That's not spoke about. People don't talk about that. It's kind of like a hush thing. But it is something that is prevalent. And as the statistics show, and as Sarita stated, 1 in 5 girls have been sexually abused. So we have to keep that in mind. Anybody else who wants to share what may have stood out to them? Y'all in the back been real quiet, and y'all grasping it. Y'all okay? All right, good deal. Just checking on you now, making sure that you with me and you understand. Okay, good. All right, so this is what I want you to do. I would like for us to get into our last group pair. So it's 6 of us in here. How about we do 2 groups of 3? And I want you to just get into a group and talk about amongst the group, kind of the same thing, like what stood out for you, what you feel you now are taking away from the class, something that empowered you, or something that you feel woke up some things, right? Because this class could have woke up some things in you that you felt like were buried. So if you don't mind sharing, everybody doesn't have to share, but if you get into your groups, I just want you to take about maybe 4 minutes to just kind of share how this class impacted your life for today. Okay? So about 4 minutes. And I'll be walking around, I'm listening. I won't say anything unless I feel like you're stuck. If you feel like you're stuck in something, or maybe you didn't understand something in the class, let me know. I'm right here, just kind of listening as people talk. Okay? All right. So 2 groups of 3.
What I can say is that as a parent of a 15-year-old, I'm glad that I was very protective of who he was around. I did not allow him to spend the night at other people's home. I didn't just let anyone take care of him. And I'm glad that I did, knowing now that there's a possibility that he could have probably been a victim of sexual assault by someone that he knew. So I did take that away from it. I'm glad that I did what I did for my baby. That's what I got, teacher. I don't have nothing else.
I have a point on that. I have a young daughter, and honestly made me feel like at the end of the day, I need to be more, comfortable and more open-minded with her, and speak to her more often about certain things that that she goes through in life, just so I can know and understand, because I don't want to miss out on anything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I want to make sure that she doesn't have to go through anything by herself. And I definitely look forward to having more detailed conversations with her.
Mm-hmm.
Just helping her, understand that she has somebody there to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
and to be there for her, so that she doesn't have to conceal that and feel like she has to, keep it to herself.
Definitely.
This class basically made me feel like I could, be more open to a lot of more things. So I definitely appreciate the info and the insight on a lot of different things.
And to touch on that, being that I basically raised my child and I didn't really have a lot of people to help me, with babysitting and stuff. At from like age about 2, I would constantly say to him, like, if anyone ever touched you, tell me, and I would explain to him what was inappropriate touching.
Absolutely.
I guess that was like I said, another reason why I didn't allow him to spend the night at people's homes, because he could have possibly been a victim. And as he went to school and as he got older, I would continuously have these conversations with him to let him know that he could be comfortable to tell me or his father if someone ever did anything to him that was inappropriate. So I mean, this class opened up, a lot of things that I did that was pretty good with, helping him. Hopefully, he's still 15. He can always still be a victim, but
Right.
hopefully with the things that I've taught him and the open dialogue that we do have, it if he ever is a victim, he'll feel comfortable to come and talk to us.
Right. Good deal. Good deal. And for the group in the back, I'm sorry if I know that we were doing groups, but because I am kind of walking around, feel free to just talk. I like to have an open forum. I know that this is still a class, but I do still like for people to feel comfortable. Okay, so I'll give you about 1 more minute for those in the back who are still talking. And then we will wrap up. While I'm doing that, I'm going to give you guys some information. Some pamphlets. These are some take-home pamphlets that you can review. Okay. So now if everybody can kind of go back to their seats, or you can stay in the group, whatever you feel comfortable with. Everybody can either stay in their groups or go back to their seats. I want to kind of wrap us up because our class is coming to an end. And I just want to make sure that everyone understood the lesson. If you did not understand something, please feel free to ask me so that I can explain it. If you feel like there was some information that I left out, maybe you didn't understand something, or maybe I didn't clarify it enough, or maybe the handouts that I gave you with the PowerPoint slide, if you didn't understand it, please feel free to ask me. What I do want to make sure that you know is that it is very important that you ask your children and your young children, your adolescents, if they have ever been touched or if anybody has ever made them feel uncomfortable. Do not feel afraid to ask your child that, because if you don't, then you will never know. So it's important that you ask, and it is important when they are little for you to tell them what is right touching and what is wrong touching. Because as kids, they don't know. Mommy and daddy washed them up and they feel like it's okay. And then somebody else comes along and washed them up, but they may do something a little extra than what mommy and daddy did. So it's important that we teach them what is wrong touching and what is right touching. Whether it's their teacher, even if it's their friend. Nowadays we have a lot of children are very curious today. And so they are constantly looking at each other's bodies, wanting to explore. We have 10-year-olds trying to explore other 10-year-olds' bodies. And they're innocent. They don't know. But it starts at home. So we have to teach them at home. So I'll give some pamphlets out. If you could pass these out for me. You can start from the back, work your way around. And with those pamphlets have a number on there that you can call if you know of anyone who's been abused. Or if you don't feel comfortable maybe sharing with me, then you can actually go to your, there's a hotline number on there that you can call. And you can speak to them and they can give you some insight on some more things. There's also some information on what is appropriate touching, what is inappropriate touching. So you can review that. And then there's a link on there, a website rather, that you can actually look at. And if you go to that website, it'll give you a plethora of information on sexual abuse in adolescence. Okay? And if no one has any questions for me, then we're going to wrap up the class. I would like to pray with everyone, just because I know the class was, kind of heavy. I tried to make it a little light, but I would like to, pray us out so that as we go back out, into the world, we are more open, more conscious, and more aware of what's going on around us. I guess that was a good prayer right there. Just to be more aware and more conscious of what's, around us. And to make sure that we stay focused, on things. Don't lose sight of what's right in front of you. Don't mistake your child's behavior as them just being a bad child, Pay attention to your children, because it could be that something is going on at school or something is going on at home that you don't even know about. Okay, so with that being said, everyone have a great evening, and I will see you again next week.